Hello YouTube, it's Christine with Souls Rising, jumping on to bring through some messages for you guys in regards to this upcoming full moon lunar eclipse that we have the beginning of next week. This video is for my air signs, so Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You guys will want to stick around. Everybody else pop over to my channel and you will find your messages over there. And you may also decide, if this is your sun sign, you're an air sign, sun sign, you might want to check out your rising or ascending sign message as well. It may just add an additional layer to what is going on for you that's a little bit more personal to your own situation. These are collective messages, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It makes sure that the video gets out there to more folks who might want to see it and benefit from hearing the messages. And if you want to be notified whenever I put up new content, just make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Also, if you are interested in a personal reading, if you like this and you want just to get a little deeper for yourself and your own situation, you will find my website linked below in the description box as well. So let's jump right in. This message, like I said, is for my air signs. And as I was tuning into your energy, I was getting this feeling of like you guys have been really busy attending to the details, working out plans, ironing everything out. And I'm seeing like fine tuning, almost like you want all your ducks in a row. You want every piece accounted for. And I feel like this is something you guys are actually pretty good at or have been pretty good at. But I'm getting that right now, this energetic shift that's sort of coming in with the eclipse especially, but I feel like it's even like before the eclipse, it's sort of now. I feel like there's this push for you to let some of that go. So you almost need to let go of the plan a little bit, like release control. And this requires you to trust and to believe that some things will actually just line up, that some things will actually just sort of work themselves out, and you actually don't have to be the one to do it, or you just don't have to put in so much effort. It's almost like I feel like you've been maybe working too hard at this and kind of need to lighten up a little bit. I also have something else sort of popping through. So for some of you, this might relate a little bit to wanting to be in charge or being in charge. And so you might be sort of starting to decide that maybe you don't really want to be anymore, okay? So maybe if you've been in charge for a little bit, you're kind of feeling like, maybe I kind of want to take a rest. I might actually want to take a little bit of a break and not have to do that, take on all that responsibility. Maybe you want to allow some other folks in your life to step up and lead instead, or to take on a little bit more of those responsibilities so that you're not doing it all alone or all by yourself. For others of you, I think this energy might actually look like you being offered an opportunity to step up and lead, and you're not sure if you want it or not. So you might be needing to make some decisions about if this is a role you're going to accept, and weighing that out, it's a lot of responsibility. Do I really want that? So let's pull some oracle cards for you guys and just get a little bit more into this message and get a little bit more detail. All the decks that I will be using will be also detailed below in the description box, just in case you're interested and it's a deck that maybe you would like to pick up for your own collection. Okay, so I'll show you guys what I got. First card that popped out was Joy, Hummingbird Spirit. And then we have Reflecting Pool, which is also the card of Stillness. These are really beautiful cards. Nature's Magic Sanctuary, or I'm sorry, Mystic Meadow Sanctuary. That's interesting. I called it Nature's Magic. It sort of has that quality to it, doesn't it? It's usually not an accident when I do stuff like that, so we'll see what comes through with that. Storm Spirit Chaos, Daffodil Fairy New Beginnings, and Pegasus Transcending. And don't let that Storm Spirit scare you guys. I know that can be like a frightening card, right? No one wants to see this in a reading, let's be real. But this is surrounded by so many positive energies here. I'm not actually that concerned about it. So the first thing that's coming through as I'm looking at this is I actually really get that you guys, it's almost like there's excitement to take a break. It's like, I want to relax. I want to have enjoyment, and really almost needing to just cozy up and be still for a minute and really kind of take a load off. Like, you've been too busy. This feels like you guys, I feel like you guys are coming from a busy season of life, or you've been just working too hard for a bit. And it's almost like, you need to give yourself permission to take a darn break already. You really need that stillness, and you may find that you get that out of nature. Just like I was kind of getting that, you know, magical nature quality from this card. There is definitely something mystical about this card. And this sense of like nature really being restorative and helping you sort of almost get in touch with that inner child a little bit. There's something childlike about this card to me as well. And I do kind of feel like for you guys, something that's been getting a little in the way of that is it's like you can't quite let go of control, or like you were sort of afraid, like, if I stop doing this, if I stop being the one organizing these things, like everything else is just going to fall apart, or maybe chaos will ensue. So there might be a need for you to trust a little bit more, and it could be trusting spirit or trusting the divine, but it also might be just trusting those around you a little bit more, that like if you take a step back, that they're going to take a step up, right? And also I feel like with this too, maybe you're kind of trying to hold some things together that actually kind of need to fall apart. So sometimes, you know, we feel like the stopgap. We feel like we're the thing that is keeping everything from falling apart, and we take on this like load of responsibility on our shoulders for that, when in reality it's a losing battle. And sometimes what actually needs to happen is that we need to let go and allow things to shift a little bit, and trust that actually sometimes that chaotic change actually creates these new beginnings. It actually opens up the door to fresh energy coming in. So there could be something a little like a pattern or a habit that you've fallen into that's just getting now a little stuck or stagnant. It's actually time for a change, or time for a shift to happen that could really actually bring in a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, and also like take a load off for you. I do keep getting other people's energies involved. So I feel like a lot of you, this may not be all of you, but I feel like a lot of you, there's other people connected to you around this. So this could be like a work situation or like a family situation where there's others around or connected to this who may be affected by these decisions or choices that you're making. And then I have transcending, okay, the Pegasus spirit here. And I actually really feel like this is you. Like, you see this figure on the card who's just sort of relaxing, and she's just being carried, okay, by this Pegasus energy. It's almost like it's okay. Like, you don't have to worry so much. Like, it's all right to just take that break that you need and allow things to come together almost like on their own accord, or like almost by magic. It's making me think, years ago, I had a job where I had a lot of responsibility, and I took a lot of that on myself. I was also somebody who really put that on my shoulders, my own shoulders too. And I remember I took a break. Like, I ended up taking some time off, and I was really worried. And I remember like my boss at the time actually looking at me and saying, "We will survive without you. It's okay. Like, take the time that you need." And they did, right? Like, and that's kind of the energy I'm getting with this. It's like, it's okay. Like, take that breather, take a little time. Maybe you've just been taking on too much of the responsibility of something, and it's time to share the load with some other people. Either way, I definitely get a sense of there being just a need for calm, for stillness, a break, time to have fun, to just enjoy things. And I kind of feel like you guys have earned it, because it does feel like it's coming following like a period of time of like where you've been really busy or just doing a lot of things. And it's almost like, let yourself kick back for a minute and just still your mind and relax. So let's move over to tarot. I want to pull a couple of tarot cards to get clarity on this message for you guys. All right, I'm going to show you guys what I got here. This deck is a little different than traditional tarot. This is actually the Vision Quest Tarot. Some of the cards, I might interpret them a little different than traditional tarot. The vibration, the energy of the cards is a little different. First card is the Eight of Water, stagnation. It is similar to the Eight of Cups. Then we have Vision Quest, which I believe is actually comparable to Judgment in the traditional tarot. And then we have Three of Swords, Doubt. Four of Swords, Contemplation. Ten of Fire, which would be the Ten of Wands, Oppression. Mother of Fire, which would be like the Queen of Wands. Big Medicine Wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune in traditional tarot. So got some major arcana popping in here. And Four of Water, which is Abundance, which is Four of Cups. Again, kind of a different energy than traditional tarot. I have found with this deck it is best to kind of honor the vision of the creator. So I'm going to just read them more intuitively. So let's see here. I really feel like you guys are like kind of ready to walk away from something. Like whatever you've been doing, I feel like there's something you've been doing that you're sort of done with. It feels over, or it feels like I don't want to put as much of my energy. So maybe you're not ready to end it completely, but I do feel like there's a need or desire to pull some energy back from it. And I feel like for you, you know, as I'm looking at these two cards, like the energy is so different. It's like freedom. It's like doing this gives you a little freedom. It's like, oh, like it would feel really good to drop that, to be able to like, oh, just relax a little bit more and get free from it. And it almost opens the door, I feel like, for some new energy to come in. But you're like all up in your head and you're doubting it. Like you're not sure, or you're like worried about it. And so instead of acting, I feel like you've just been thinking it through. Okay, I feel like you're thinking it over. You've been sort of still, not moving because you're not 100% sure it's the right move to make, or you're not sure about the timing. And you might be almost like waiting for something to happen, or waiting for some things to line up, or almost waiting for a sign, almost like you're like, God, send me a sign. Like, what should I do? I did hear just now, if that's you, you're getting one. Okay, so watch for it. If you've been asking for a sign, you will get one. And then this Ten of Wands is interesting here. I asked for clarity, and that's when the Queen of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Four of Cups popped out. And this really feels to me like you are feeling overburdened by whatever this responsibility is. And it could be that you've taken on some additional responsibility. So maybe you already had something you were working on. Now there's something new showing up on the scene, but you haven't yet let go of something old. And I kind of feel like you can't do both, or it's not working. It's putting you in this place where you're like, oh, like I can't, like it's too much. I'm overwhelmed. Something's got to give. I really, really feel like with this card, like this is not sustainable. Something has to shift. Something has to give. Something has to change. And I feel like with this, it's important that you pursue your passion and that you really kind of follow your heart. But I'm also getting really major motherly vibes from this card, where maybe you're kind of that one that keeps the home fires burning, okay? Like, and so there's a feeling of like, if I don't do this, like who else takes this up? Who else nurtures these things then? How do these things get done? How do they get managed if I'm not the one here doing it all, right? And then I get, you know, with the Wheel of Fortune here, and again, Four Cups in this deck really has a very different energy. This really comes through as like that you're going to be surprised at how this all comes together for you. And maybe you can't see it yet. There may be a little bit of a divine surprise happening here with this energy, but it's almost like you have to let go a little bit. Sometimes it's like you have to take a chance, or you have to spin the wheel and see what happens. Like I'm seeing like one of those like funhouse wheels, or like the Wheel of Fortune wheel, where you spin it and then you don't know where it's going to land. And I almost feel like there's a little bit of like you needing to do that. that's part of like the need to let go of the control and see where everything lands. But I feel like for you, this feels really risky. It feels like I'm going to throw these dice and I don't know what the outcome's going to be. And I don't know if I'm going to win or lose, right? And it's like you're terrified to lose. You don't want to give this other thing up without knowing that there's a secure plan in place. But I also feel like the planning is like killing you. Like it's like too much. And I just feel like you're not getting anywhere. Like things feel stagnant, or like you're not making movement. You're really on pause because you can't decide what to do with this, or you're a little stuck and worry about it. Hold on, I want to pull a couple cards about this Four of Water, because I feel like there's something, another element coming in with the Four of Water that I don't feel like is immediately coming to me. So we got the Moon, and then we got the Seven of Air, which would be like the Seven of Swords in this deck, and futility. And you'll see it's an arrow, where the arrow, the tip of the arrowhead is broken off here. And I am getting that with this, that there's a lot of emotion around this. You know, we've got water, we've got the moon, and there's almost this sense of like, you don't trust. Sorry about that. I had a little interruption with my phone. So I was saying with this, like a Seven of Swords coming out with the moon, I'm feeling like it's almost like you're not trusting the cups to get filled. Okay. It's almost like you're afraid of being let down, or you're afraid someone else is going to let you down, or that things won't all come together the way that they should. And I feel like there's a lot of this just feels like it's a little bit of fear, more so than really reality. And maybe there's some aspects of this that are grounded in reality, but I keep getting there's a bigger picture at play here that maybe you don't see just yet as well. There may be some other energy coming in here that you don't see. I keep being pulled on this Four of Cups. There's two streams coming into these cups, and I keep getting the sense you don't see one of these. And when we talk about the moon has to do with something that's been veiled as well, or hidden from our view. And so there may be something that you're questioning, like you're doubting, like you're not sure about, but it's actually maybe coming because you can't see all the details. And again, I think some of this is you like just feeling just uncomfortable with, I can't see all the details and I want to know how this is going to work before I let go of the safety or the security that I feel like I've built. And you may not get that guarantee. I mean, we've got the moon, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, we've got Judgment, some of this major arcana. I really feel like there's bigger forces at play here than what you're currently aware of, and maybe that is going to play a role in whatever the situation is. Sometimes too, when we hang on to something too long, we just get forced out of it, or something happens to help us move on, help us see very clearly that it's time to move on from something, or time for that break, right? We were talking about needing a break to have fun, kick your feet up a little bit. Sometimes something will happen to spark that off or set that off for us so that we have to do it. And then we see how everything falls into place, right? Because we were waiting, and then we just have to do it. And then all of a sudden it all just falls together, right? So let's pull two more cards for you guys, and then we will wrap it up. Let's see what comes through here. Okay, yeah, perfect. Perfect. So we got Son of Water, which is Knight of Cups in this deck. The Ten of Swords, which is like Ten of Air. They also call this a negative thinking card. I definitely think there's some negative thinking going on, or just fear, worry and fear in this case, I think for a lot of you. And then we have Eight of Swords, Interference, it's called in this deck. Two of Swords, lots of mental energy here. I will say the Two of Swords in this deck has a really peaceful vibe, very different energy than a typical Two of Swords. And then Two of Earth, which is balance and change. It's like the Two of Pentacles. This card can also be referencing that we've got the full moon lunar eclipse, and then we've got a new moon solar eclipse coming just a few weeks later. And I do feel like whatever wraps with the full moon, it's being replaced with the new moon. So in between these eclipses, you guys might feel very unsettled about this choice that's needing to be made, or this shift that you're needing to make right now to allow yourself to let go of something that's been weighing on you. I do feel ultimately, like, to me, this is such a card of peace in this deck. I really feel like you guys are going to get peace when you make this decision. Whatever this is that needs to end, when you end it, I feel like you're gonna get unstuck, okay? Like you're gonna get out of this stagnation, stuck energy, and it's gonna allow things to move forward for you. And ultimately, I feel like there's opportunity. It's interesting too that the Knight of Cups essentially comes out with this like Ten of Swords card. It is like opportunity for the ending to happen. So opportunity to let go of something that's dying or dead or done or needs to be done, so that we can actually finally get to a place where there is peace and balance being restored once again, okay? Also, just out of the blue, as I'm looking at this card, Spirit is pulling me down to these two, I want to call these like mangoes or like gourds or something. I don't know what the heck they actually are, but these little fruits that are like on the bottom of this card, part of this harvest. I actually feel like there's more than one benefit that may pop out of this for you. So there may be more growing beneath the surface of this situation, or more ready to manifest out of this situation than what you can currently see, because I feel like these are sort of buried. They're down with that moon energy. There's a hidden energy here, something being brewed or being grown or sown behind the scenes that I don't feel like you have been able to see, but I also feel like you're not gonna see it. It feels like a test to me, like a test from the universe to see if you can let go of some control of the situation, and you're gonna feel like you're free falling a little bit. I feel like with this, and I think that's where the fear is coming from, is this sense of I'm free falling. I don't know what's next. So take a deep breath, drop in your heart, and come to a space of like trust, and really think about, what do I need, what's right for me, because you might be too focused by these other energies of what's right for this person, what's right for that person. But I feel like you actually, the decision almost needs to come from your heart and come from what you need, and maybe you haven't been tuned into that voice in a while. So air signs, take it down out of this mental energy, bring it into the heart, and really sit with your own needs. And I think you're going to find some answers, but also know that there's some support showing up from the universe around this. This is in God's hands too. And there's a lot of support that you may not see coming in just yet, or maybe is already there and you're just not totally aware of. Air signs, these are your messages. I wish you guys the best. I will be back in a couple weeks with some more messages for you guys. Take care. Bye.